President.
Yes, Ken.
I will always call you President, and forgive me for that. Once a president, always a president. Yes. Now, we have heard rumors that you want to do a few nice things at a regional level. We hear that you have ambitions. Just tell us what those ambitions are.
No, it's not rumor. It's not in the realm of conjecture. I've been nominated as one of the 2 candidates for election as president of the East African Law Society. This election will be held on the 30th of November at the Speak Resort in Kampala. And we are going for this office. We have been given this rotational chance for Kenya this time. Yeah. So I'm vying for president of the EALS.
Now, for some, and I know there are some practitioners who might not know about it,
yes.
What is EALS?
EALS is a regional body of the bars within the East African region. Of course, there's been the entrance of several other countries which were outside the traditional East African region. The latest entrants being Southern Sudan, Burundi, and Rwanda. So this is the conglomeration of those societies. The president of the EALS has a council that is elected by members of the constituent bars, and presidents of those individual bars also sit in the council of the EALS. Its intention is to integrate the practice of law within the region. So what would have been good for the bar in Kenya, in Tanzania, Zanzibar, Burundi, Rwanda, and Uganda is made good at a regional level. You know, like cross-border practice, which is fundamental when it comes to practice matters, is one issue. We have so many Ugandan practitioners who practice here. Several of our advocates also practice across border, and there is need to enhance that practice environment to ensure that the laws, regulations, and policies of the member countries of the East African region provide a conducive atmosphere for this to thrive. And it's for that reason that there is need for a vocal person from Kenya to represent Kenya and the region at this particular point in time. In Uganda, they have the Radical Bar, which is a protege of the Brave New Bar. And it is for that reason that I've said it is important we seize this opportunity and get a regional platform to advance the interests of the practitioners, the lawyers in the East African regions. And above that, to advance and enhance the rule of law and the growth of democracy in this region. You know, Kenya is very privileged. We are first amongst equals when it comes to the rule of law and democracy. When I served as president of the Law Society, we used to have so many meetings. At one point in time, we're having tea in Zanzibar, and my colleagues from Burundi and Rwanda and Southern Sudan asked me, how are you able to challenge a decision by the president in Kenya and remain alive? At that point in time, just a few months before, the office of the president of the bar in Zanzibar had been bombed. So you see, there are certain things we enjoy here in Kenya that many of our colleagues in the East African region do not have. And I think that explains the reason why it is easier and more lucrative for them to practice here as opposed to us going to practice there. Is there a way in which we can integrate the region in such a manner as was intended by President Jomo Kenyatta, President Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, and President Dr. Milton Obote? Of course, they were not lawyers, but they had grandiose ideas, which lawyers within the East African region can tap in and make the practice of law here conducive for everybody. Make the rule of law have meaning, attain sustainable democracy all over the region. Because a stable democracy is conducive for commerce to thrive. It is for that reason that, Ken, I have the propulsion to go for this office.
So you're taking Brave New Bar to a regional level?
I think the time for the Brave New Bar to go regional is now. The lapel pin that I will put on your
on the lapel
today will travel with me to Kampala. I think I'll have to order more. I saw a movement in the bar in Uganda. I think they are ripe to be brave.
I saw the statement today.
Yes, they are ripe to be brave.
Yeah.
And why not? We need to help them to be brave.
Last week I was in Tanzania, and I had the privilege of sitting with the Tanganyika Law Society heads, the chair and the vice chair.
Yes.
And as you're having these conversations, they asked me, "Are you going to Uganda?" And I told them, "Yes, I'm going to Uganda." And they told me, "You know what? Your former president, who we do not understand how he can challenge a government and is still alive. We have heard he's vying." And I told them, "Yes, he's vying." Told me we're going to vote for him.
Amen.
And I said, "These are not people that I know. We've just met here, but they know you. It means you're doing great things."
That's what I told you, Ken, in our preceding discussion. Sometimes, not sometimes, it's a given. A good name will take you places. And if it is the good name that we've attained here because of our struggle, the fight for the rule of law, sustainable democracy in Kenya, is the one that will take us to the regional level, then it will be the hallmark of the manifestation of the need to serve the people, to serve the advocates, to serve the region.
Now you see, Havi, we've sat here, we've spoken a lot of English. But then you also realize that our brothers across the border are very proud of speaking their Swahili. So I want you to send a message to our brothers in probably in Tanzania, in Zanzibar, some in Kampala, some in Kigali. I'm not sure about Kigali, but you get those in Swahili.
Unajua kuna wengi ambao unafikiria mimi sina ufasaha wa Kiswahili. Kaka Ken, wacha nikwambie, naweza kuzungumza Kiswahili.
Yeah.
Ombi langu kwa mawakili wanahudumu katika eneo la muungano wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, ningelipenda kuwaambia kwamba ninawania kuwa rais wa East African Law Society, na uchaguzi huu utafanyika kule Kampala tarehe 30 Novemba, wiki moja kutoka hapa. Ni matumaini yangu kwamba katika eneo la Afrika Mashariki tutakuwa na utengamano ambao utawaruhusu mawakili kufanya kazi yao bila kubanwa. Na mawakili wataweza tu kufanya kazi yao bila kubanwa ikiwa sheria itadumishwa na serikali, itadumishwa na wanaofanya biashara katika eneo hili. Ndiposa wakati huu ni wakati muhimu sana ambao sisi kama mawakili kutoka eneo la Afrika Mashariki yapaswa tuzingatie ni yapi ya muhimu katika kazi yetu kama mawakili. Ni mambo gani ambayo tunayapaswa kuzingatia kuhakikisha kwamba demokrasia inakuwa si hapa tu Kenya, bali katika mataifa yote ambayo yanajumuisha katika muungano wa Afrika Mashariki. Tazama hapo mwanzo, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, Daktari Milton Obote na Mzee Jomo Kenyatta walipokubaliana kwamba tuwe na muungano wa Afrika Mashariki, walikuwa na mtizamo wa mbele. Walitaka eneo hili liendelee kuimarika, si kibiashara tu na kisiasa. Matumaini yangu ni kwamba walikuwa na maono kwamba wale ambao wako na uwezo wa kuwa katika mstari wa mbele kama sisi mawakili, basi watajumuishwa pamoja, watakuwa na utengamano na watafanya kazi yao kwa manufaa ya watu wote wa eneo la Afrika Mashariki. Namuomba mje kwa wingi tarehe 30 Novemba, munipigie kura. Mungu wabariki. Asanteni sana.
Now the last question for this East African Law Society. We have so many young lawyers in all those countries. And the practice of law has changed drastically after COVID-19 because of also technology. we have many people doing cross-border transactions. I am doing transactions with a fellow you might know. Is called Silva Kayondo in Kampala.
Mhm.
I am doing transactions with a lady called Rachel Magege in Tanzania. We're doing all these things even without seeing each other. So, why? Just tell the young lawyers who, at some point, will practice law in borderless regions why they need to vote for you.
Often in the practice of law, you need a reference. You need a conducive environment where you'll not be hindered in what you're doing, where you'll not be targeted. We have had a situation whereby one of our colleagues, Mbugwa, was detained in Kampala because he'd gone to bail out a Kenyan by the name Al-Amin
Kimathi. Yeah. The terror attacks.
Yes. Why was it that this issue was not resolved quickly? And it's not just limited to terror attacks. You see, you can be targeted even in the pursuit of a simple, straightforward commercial transaction of cross-border nature. We need to be in a position whereby the regional body will come to your defense. That's number one. Number two, you need to be in a position where the practice environment in that region is one that you can comfortably say with certainty, this is how it will be done here, this is how it will be done in Kampala, this is how it will be done in Arusha and Dar es Salaam, this is how it will be done in Bujumbura, Kigali, or elsewhere. You understand? It's that certainty. And you see, certainty is always attained through certain struggles. And individuals in life tend to define certain offices. And without blowing my trumpet, the offices I've served here in Kenya are definitive of the impetus that I come along with, not just for my own personal benefit, for the benefit of you, for the benefit of our respective domestic bars, for the benefit of our countries and the regional body. It is for that reason, therefore, that it is imperative that insofar as this election of president is concerned, we see the propriety of putting in place somebody who can make these things happen. You understand?
Yeah.
And that is the reason as to why I beseech all the advocates. For those who do not know me, this is who I am. I prefer things being done right for the benefit of all. For those who know who I am, you've seen how we've done it. And we do it much better given the regional platform. This is how it should be done. Let's us do it.
Thank you. That's the end of it.
Santa sana.
Sawa sawa.
Good.
Cheers.
Good.
Kevin,